Yes. Today, we gather here at a defining moment in human history. This is not merely an age of technological advancement. It is an age of civilization transition, embedded with gift of innovation and technology. Our job is to transform our civilization for us as well as our generations in future. For the first time, humanity is not only building tools that expand human labor. We are building systems that increasingly shape perception, influence decisions, interpret reality, recommend actions, and sometimes act with degree of autonomy that earlier generations could scarcely imagine. That's the beauty of the era, artificial era. Artificial intelligence, automation, digitization and digitalization, data ecosystems, and algorithmic systems thinking are now entering nearly every domain of life, including education, health, governance, agriculture, law, entrepreneurship, communication. That is what we're doing. And also finance, mobility, science, public administration, and many other sectors. That is what matches with our conference tracks. This wider transition in central concern of this source agenda. I would like to propose this agenda as a source agenda to be considered by all the masses and all the spectrums of the society. Source agenda towards the task, responsibility, and social alignment. And yet, amid all excitement, a deeper question confronts us. What kind of digital futures are we building? Are we building systems that only become more powerful, or are we building systems that become more human? Humanity is central aspect of my talk over here in this august gathering. Are we building faster machines or wiser societies for future? Are we re-engineering intelligence alone, or are we cultivating intelligence with ethics, sustainability, trust, and social meaning? That is what is the biggest question worldwide today. These are not the technical questions alone. They are philosophical questions too. They are governance questions. They are educational questions. Questions for the technology creators. They are human questions, ultimately. And they are questions of our quest for the future for which we are working today collectively. That is why the theme of this discourse is both urgent and visionary. Human-centered digital futures with synergies, building trustworthy, sustainable, explainable AI for Society 6.0. That is what I propose is our collective mission to work on for the futures. Yes, that's fine. This theme takes us to move beyond isolated innovation and toward integrated transformation. It invites us to imagine futures with which technology is not detached from humanity, but deeply aligned with human dignity, social well-being, institutional accountability, ecological responsibility, and collective progress. It directly builds on the certainty of this source agenda for documented discourse. Having shared move from technology-centered thinking towards human-centered, responsible digital ecosystems. That is what intended the earlier speaker, Professor Wagle, who was focusing about going back to physical books. Human-touched technology, human-inspiring technology, technology that is something easy to operate. So, the challenge before us is not simply to build more digital systems. The challenge is to build better digital systems, not more, better. Systems that people can understand, explainable, that is what we talk about. Explainable technologies, technologies that speak themselves, technologies that are easier to operate for the users. A truly human-centered digital future begins with a simple principle. Technology must serve human flourishing, none the other way around. Though this discourse, I'd like to take you to a tour of a roadmap onto revisiting a world of various source documents, insistences that trust, responsibility, sustainability, explainability, and human values must become central to next phase of digital development. For that, Society 6.0 and beyond needs to be well thought. Inclusion, ethics, accountability, sustainability, planet, and human purpose are the central ideas that we need to really think about while working ahead on days ahead in the mission Society 6.0 is our collective roadmap. I'm sorry audience, due to very frequent power cuts, it has been disturbing quite a lot. So, by the time power comes, here the agenda, let me simplify it. What is needed today is most of the audience, most of the user audience of Society 6.0, Industry 5.0, they are afraid of the technologies that we develop. So my central concern is how we can work ahead, how we can innovate them so that they become user-friendly, human-centric, environment-centric, conservation-centric. We are creating lots of bombs. We are creating weapons. We are creating means of easy transportation. But behind that, we are living in this mother surrounding with a devastating destructionist elements too. So here, the quest of talk is not only creating the things, but also caring the environment, caring the humanity. That is what the technocrats, that is what the script writers for Society 7.0, the future move, you need to think about. The power of synergies, if we build it, human intelligence and artificial intelligence, innovation and ethics, efficiency and accountability, digital transformation and environmental sustainability, research and policy, universities and communities, local wisdom and global services, and finally, technology and trust can be embedded in much awaited system that we are looking for. That is the need for we all. We cannot just recommend using things that are complicated, that are critical, that are fear-inviting. We can recommend systems that are trustworthy, systems that are explainable, systems that spend less of our energy. They are sustainable and they are responsible for our environment and responsible for our automation systems, digitalization and automation systems. And again, at the same time, I would also like to pinpoint that the AI researchers alone cannot build trustworthy systems, trustworthy futures. Engineers alone cannot define ethical systems. Policymakers alone cannot shape sustainable platforms. Universities alone cannot transform society without citizens. Institutions, industry, and community participation is a must. All along together, co-creation is a must. Human-centered digital futures require synergistic ecosystems of knowledge, governance, innovation, and responsibility. That ecosystem view reflects the emphasis on integration, institutional redesign, and wider social responsibility rather than narrow technical success. So, for this, I have propagated four pillars of success for the generation next-centric creation: trustworthiness, explainable, sustainable, and responsible autonomy. These are the four pillars. AI cannot work alone. We need to create powerful and trustworthy relationships. Please allow me to frame this lecture around four foundational pillars. Pillar one is trustworthy AI. Without trust, digital transformation remains shallow, vacuum. Trustworthy AI means that systems are not only technically effective, but socially legitimate. They must be reliable, safe, fair, secure, and accountable, most importantly. Citizens, students, researchers, patients, workers, and institutions must feel confident that AI systems are not manipulating them, discriminating against them, or making invisible decisions beyond explanation and appeal. Trust is not created by slogans. It must be created by responsible designs. Trust is created by governance. It is created by transparency, safeguards, accountability, and public dialogues like this one. In education, a student must trust that an AI-supported education system is fair. In health, a patient must trust that an AI-assisted diagnosis is evidence-based and responsibly supervised. In governance, a citizen must trust that digital systems protect rights, data, and dignity of the people. Trustworthy AI is therefore not an operational add-on. It is the moral and institutional foundation of lasting digital progress. This extends the source space argument that intelligence is no longer enough. Responsibility, transparency, accountability, they define the legitimacy of very intelligence and every intelligence. Pillar two, that is explainable AI. If people cannot understand a system, they cannot fully trust it. This principle is simple but transformative. We are now surrounded by systems that generate output with astonishing speed and complexity. Yet, many of these systems will function as black boxes. We don't know what is going on in them. They may predict, classify, recommend, detect, or decide, but often without giving a human being the values and meaning of the life. That is what AI system we are looking for. If people cannot understand a system, they cannot fully trust it. So, this principle is simple, but again, transformative. And again, when we talk the pillar 3, sustainability, we talk sustainability in terms of sustainable AI, sustainable digitalization, sustainable automation, and automation not at the cost of environment, automation not at the cost of earth, automation not at the cost of our beloved plants, beloved creatures, and Mother Earth. Digital futures must not become ecologically irresponsible. That is what I mean to emphasize over here. This is one of the most neglected truths in global AI conversion today. That is why AI fails today. Sustainable AI, protecting AI, environment-friendly AI, and an AI that can value larger scale the digital ecosystems, the materials, the electricals, the environmental consequences, the system that prevents those from happening. That is why sustainability must be integrated into digital design right from beginning. We need energy-aware computing. Just not using computers that consume less of energy, that transmit, emit less of devastation to the surrounding. Greener infrastructure. The world has already stepped onto green computing, smart computing, green computing, and most importantly, responsible data usage, data practices, efficient modeling, again talking about the design, localized and edge-based processing, edge computing, green computing, and finally, the policy frameworks that connect digital innovation with climate responsibility. Very big responsibility and very much essential agenda for the region like Karnali. The idea of green edge computing emphasized here is especially valuable because it reminds us that intelligence does not always need to be centralized, distant, or resource heavy. In many contexts, processing closer to the point of need can reduce latency, save energy, improve efficiency, and strengthen resilience. That is what the system we need. Are we ready to build it? Are we really thinking about it? Or we just want to follow what is happening in the world? World may know very little about our need. World may know very little about the diversities of Karnali and diversities of Sudur Paschim of Nepal. The creation that may be supporting melting of our glaciers. Mind it, remember it. That is what I want to warn the society that created Society 6.0. Let's revisit 6.0 from this perspective. And responsible autonomy, yes, we practice autonomy, we have to save times, we have to work on a click, but again, the surrounding around us should not be affected adversely. Under whose values does the system operate? The question, big question stands in front of us. Under what rules does it operate? Under what oversight does it evolve? Are the oversights well thought foresightedly? That is what we need to think. And universities and architects of human-centered futures, we have the job here. Let us revisit our curricula. Let us revisit our university courses. Let us revisit our university practical questions, practical assignments, projects, in which there should be ample room for the application of AI, but it should be in disciplined order, controlled order. New responsibility for the next generation. I want to make it sure. For us, we are the hope of the nation, if not the world. We are the hope of the nation. So we have a responsibility. Responsibility, in one hand, we cannot compromise digital futures. We need to install it. Mountain and rural connectivity needs to be supported. Educational equity needs to be guaranteed. Public service accessibility needs to be harmonized. Youth innovation needs to be propelled. Democratic trust, culture protectedness, and institutional capacity enhancement. These are our collective responsibilities. We cannot compromise. Let us use AI for that. But while working on it, to the students, young researchers over there, startup founders, future leaders in this hall, allow me to say clearly, the future will not belong to those who merely build the fastest systems. It will belong to those who build the most meaningful systems. Let's not only run for fastest systems. Let's run for meaningful, responsible, human-centric systems. That is the grey land, the creators you can enjoy. You are entering a world where technical brilliance will matter, but it won't be enough if you forget humanity. It won't be enough if you forget environment. It won't be enough if you forget Mother Earth. Wherever you are, whatever the country you locate yourself, humanity, environment, Mother Earth, these are least emphasized as of today. So, I proclaim from this august gathering, neither Industry 4.0, nor Industry 5.0, nor Society 6.0 fully addresses this living reality. So I reject existing 6.0. I open the floor, I open the debate for redesigning a holistic society 6.0. Let us work again. Together we can make it possible. The dialogue is open. Debate is open. Questions are welcome. Remember, I am non-ITN. I see this hole, this loophole in these old systems. I proclaimed this just 2 weeks back in an international conference led by engineers. They agreed with me. What about you? You can oppose me. You can raise the question. I'm not afraid because I'm non-ITN standing here talking about let's fully, holistically redesign society 6.0. Let's create the history. Book is open. You can do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our respected Professor Dr. Chandra Prasad Rijal sir, for your mind-blowing and updated presentation, sharing, keynote speech, prominent speaker, whatever we say. You are really one of the great speaker, and we always appreciate you for your academic excellency and your performance. Without delay, now I would like to hand over token of love, me myself maybe, I could not see here anyone, our authorities, university authorities to hand over, maybe good to, also this is good luck for me because I am the existing executive director of planning, development and monitoring, and he is my preceding executive director, so we executive director to executive director, so this is golden chance for me also. Okay. Maybe we must declare that you are ready. You must be hungry. I have not taken even breakfast. Still, I can digest. Our Vice Chancellor on the way. So hopefully, you will join there and lunch break. I must declare now. And then as soon as we finish, then we will join again here for VC panel. So, wishing to you here as the very valued participant because our VCs are here. They are on the way to come because of the plane flight disturbances from Kathmandu to here. They are forced to land to Nepalganj, and we are managing vehicles for them to receive from Nepalganj to here. It's a very all of a sudden, everything is being all of a sudden. This is very beautiful moment for us and new experience. Okay, enjoy your time ahead now. So around 30 minutes, half an hour break. After that, we will join here in the same hall. All the best ahead. Thank you.